Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, I just want to highlight, you probably see a lot of legislators in here wearing purple. Purple is the color for domestic violence, sexual assault, and it really just symbolizes courage. It symbolizes survival and peace, and that someday we can overcome the abuse. So I want to make sure that's noted. I also want to thank our senators for being here in support today. Colleagues, I've stood in this chamber many times as your majority leader. I have debated you. I have disagreed with you. I have laughed and I have cried with you. And I have worked beside you on bills, in committee, and on the issues that matter to the people of Colorado the most. I have always believed, despite our differences, we could rely on the basic level of respect for one another as elected representatives. That belief has been shattered. On the day, on the floor of this House, while a member was preparing to speak, her image was taken without her consent, not to advance debate, but to highlight her service, but to demean her. That image was passed around in a private partisan group chat, accompanied by crude, sexualized, and degrading commentary. She was not mocked for her ideas or her arguments, but for her body and her clothing. Her position was stripped of respect. She was reduced to a punchline. And it didn't stop there. That image was posted online alongside a so-called poll inviting strangers to judge her appearance. What followed were threats of violence, even threats of sexual assault against her and her family. And all of this was carried out by members of this very body. This is not about one incident. This is about a culture, a mindset that says women in public service are fair game to be ridiculed and humiliated. It tells every young woman who dreams of serving here that her worth will be measured not by her vision or her courage, but in inches of fabric. It tells every Coloradan that some among us see this House not as a place for public service, but as a locker room. And I will tell you something personal. This incident has reminded me of the darkest moments in my life. Many of you know I'm a survivor of domestic violence, physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse. I know what it feels like to have your worth torn down, your dignity stripped away, and treated less than human. For years, I fought to reclaim my voice. I fought to rise above the ugliness and the cruelty that tried to define who I was. And I stand here today because I refuse to let darkness be who I am. This chamber should never echo the cruelty I fought so hard to overcome. But today it has, and that is something we cannot ignore. To my colleagues across the aisle, you should be ashamed that this happened among your ranks, ashamed that instead of protecting the dignity of this chamber, some chose to protect the perpetrator. The people of Colorado expect more from you. You have not just failed one colleague, but you have failed the very principles this House is meant to uphold. Many of us in this room know and understand what it means to be underestimated, to be told you don't belong here, to be pushed through prejudice, to break barriers. That fight makes the disrespect we've seen even more intolerable. Colorado deserves a House where debate is fierce, but respect is unwavering, where we challenge each other's ideas, not each other's humanity. So I ask you, please look in the mirror. Ask yourself if you are proud of what you have become. And if the answer is no, then prove it by holding yourselves and your colleagues accountable. And I promise you this, I will not look away. I will not be silent. I will not let this be who we all are. But more than that, we will lead. We will lead with courage when others shrink. We will lead with dignity when others demean. And we will lead with respect when others choose cruelty. And we will prove through our actions that this House is stronger than the prejudice that have long tried to silence women, people of color, survivors, and all who dare to dream of serving here. We cannot undo what has been done, but we can decide what comes next. We can rise together above the ugliness, above the cruelty, and above the failures of the past. We can show Colorado and the country that when faced with division, we choose unity. When confronted with hate, we choose courage. And when dignity is torn down, we choose to build it back, stronger than ever before. Colleagues, our duty is not only to legislate, but it is to lead. And leadership is not about comfort. It's about courage. It's about standing tall when others shrink, and it's about proving through our actions that this House is worthy of the people that serve it. I believe in this chamber. I believe in the power of its people, and I believe that together we can turn this moment of shame into our values, restore respect, and ensure that every voice in Colorado knows this House belongs to them. The people of Colorado are watching. Our daughters and sons are watching. And history will remember whether we had the courage to change. As long as I have the honor of standing in this chamber, I will not allow us to be defined by disgrace. We must rise above it. We must be better than this. And together, we will make sure Colorado House of Representatives is worthy of the people that we serve. Thank you.